don't know if. Great.
Yeah, pass them all around.
Pass them around. We could all use them. I
Except
know.
for Amy Altenbouts. Amy Altenbouts doesn't need it. Who's this?
Howie?
Howie,
Vicky?
Oh,
Vicky.
Howie. I
Yeah.
can't see from the...
We just saw Sam this weekend, so.
Oh, how's he doing?
Good.
Good.
He's doing fine.
Good.
You know, they've got the normal being sick and all that from
Yeah.
lives in a fraternity house.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
He went to Burroughs. He went to Wydown. And then no, he went to Glenridge.
Hi, Joy.
You know, with
Hi, dear Joy.
masks, you have to take
I know.
Altenbouts.
The name's familiar. He's a sophomore in college. Yeah, I'm sure.
Here, Joy.
You know, with masks, you have to take in the whole person to see them. You don't just look at their face.
Yeah,
So
right.
you have
We're
to see
getting
like
used
their
to.
posture, their
You know,
walk.
What's been really interesting is we have a new grandchild, and she's only 2 weeks old, but she really only sees a lot of people like this, except her mom and dad, and even now I can be, but for a long time, for her whole life, she's only seen us like this. So I've been trying to figure out how to make my eyes like really expressive to her, and the see-through.
Yeah, transparent.
Yeah, I think they use them for kids. They use them for babies,
Yeah.
I think, so that babies get to see expressions. Yes, for Jim and his socks usually.
But you know, you like in Hebrew gives you the concept because
Panim,
in Hebrew, inside is bifnim is inside, and bipanim it comes from bipanim in the face. So in Hebrew, the face expresses the interior of a person. The face. It doesn't work in English, but in Hebrew, that's what the word is.
Wow.
So for us, though, when you see people with masks, if you're not looking at the whole person, you won't know who they are. I didn't know who this was. And I know him, but I just looked at this, But when with masks, like you have to see somebody walk, I know that walk,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I look at eyes
Really?
Well, when I was
But-
a kid, I had an injury, an eye injury, and one pupil stayed large. So people were all the time staring at my eyes because I had, and especially in the light, I had one eye big and one eye small, and people look at me like, "What's wrong with that guy?" And it got so severe, I started wearing sunglasses inside because I got tired of explaining to people.
In the Talmud, Jimmy often refers to this, and our daughter Adina of blessed memory also kind of attached to this image of one eye laughing and one eye crying. And I don't even really know what it's from, or why.
I know.
I know you know.
I haven't tracked it, but I know. I heard it from Rabbi Rivkin,
Oh,
who
blessed memory.
who said that this was how someone described Bar Yochai,
Oh, right.
but I never found it.
Right. Describe it.
A great teacher of the 2nd century, Bar Yochai, that somebody described him as one eye laughing, one eye crying. And I thought that was so beautiful. So I found something similar, though, in a midrash, and I put it in my book,
Yeah.
that bichi, crying, and connecting in one word, and they give you the word. And that was the closest I saw. But I could never find it.
The one eye laughing and one eye crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I looked.
It's
I
the
looked.
Talmud of Jim
No, I got it. I got it.
from Rabbi Rifkin.
I have a
Yeah,
source.
it's good enough for me too. So, I
Are
don't
we
know,
using
John.
these? Or?
What?
Oh, for the
Yeah, we
stream.
are for the stream. You know, it's interesting that you'd say that because every once in a while someone will come up to me and say, "Oh, you're back," from my eyes, because I think after Adina died, my light went out for a long time, you know, and I feel like it's still out. I don't think it'll ever come back on. But every once in a while, somebody will come up to me and say, "Oh, look, your light's back on," and it's just from my eyes.
Oh, mine's not
I think I'm faking, but it's not real. But some people will say that to me, and so out of humility, I trust them. You know, I trust that. Huh?
Your sacred partner is still dark.
You're still dark?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're still dark. I think we're still dark. I don't think it ever goes. You never. Huh? Today's his birthday. Oh, happy birthday, David. You know, he died so suddenly. I don't know. Yeah. I think about that day so much. Huh? It feels right to be here for us too, because he was Papa Dave.
So let's start with a song, Susie. What do you say?
Start with a song. Let me just say something about Yizkor as you're getting ready for the song. So Yizkor is the name of both a specific prayer and the service during which it's recited. The word means memorial, and it's based on the Hebrew word zachor, to remember. There are 4 Yizkor services throughout the year, and there are many customs attached to this tradition. One custom suggests that although we recite the Yizkor prayer silently, we do so standing shoulder to shoulder to support each other and to remind each other that although each loss is unique, we are never really alone. The Yizkor service that we do this 4 times a year, and you know, the last one was just a minute ago on Yom Kippur, right? So people forget about this one. It's a relatively new addition to the liturgy. The Yom Kippur Yizkor service began as a memorial to those killed during the Crusades of the 12th century because, you know, they didn't know when people died. They didn't have dates. And so they put all of those massacres on that one day. They figured, we're sad enough on Yom Kippur. We're all together. Let's add a Yizkor service, a special service to remember the dead. And then during the 18th century, a Yizkor service was added to the 3 pilgrimage holidays, which is why we have one today on Shemini Atzeret.
In what century?
18th century.
Oh.
Was added to Passover, Shavuot, and the 8th day of Sukkot, which is today. Yizkor is also observed by giving tzedakah in memory of a loved one. So that's kind of the history of how we get to this moment. And we'll do that. We'll think about all the people who we've brought to this space, and we'll think about all the people that don't have anyone to say Kaddish for them, where whole families are continue to be massacred.
I have a piece about that.
Huh?
I have a piece about
Good. Well, we'll have that piece. So we'll begin with hi there, Sharon. How wonderful to see you. So we'll begin with a little bit of music. We'll do a little bit of prayer. We don't do a traditional service on this day, and then we'll hear some poetry. And Nikki Nymark is in that still. I mean, her family was so sure, the hospice people were so sure she was going to die. Her funeral was actually planned for yesterday, and she's still with us. God bless Nikki. I think she's just being Nikki and hanging in there, you know, because she can do that. You know, she's still there, kind of between the worlds. There's a status for someone who's not in this world and not yet in the next. It's called a goses. a goses, goses. And you don't fluff a pillow to hasten the death, but you also don't get in the way of death. You don't do anything heroic, to prolong death, to prolong suffering. And to, not for us, but for her, to not be afraid of the transition of going from this world to the next. So here we are in this in-between spot as well, as we come together as mourners. What draws us here is trying somehow to understand this mystery of life and death, why some people have to suffer these horrible deaths of people who gave our lives meaning and continue to be in this world without them. It's a challenge every day. And yet, here we are. Here we are. Broken feet and all? Is that boots and all?
What?
Boots and all.
Yeah.
Okay, for healing. We'll definitely do some healing. All right. Good. So, how about beginning with a song?
Oh, gather up the brokenness. Bring it to me now. Fragrance of those promises you never dared to vow. The splinters that you carry, the cross you left behind. Come healing of the body, come healing of the mind. Let the heavens hear it, the penitential hymn. Come healing of the spirit, come healing of the limb. Behold the gates of mercy, arbitrary space. None of us deserving cruelty or the grace. Solitude of longing where love has been confined. Come healing of the body, come healing of the mind. Oh, see the darkness yielding that tore the light apart. Come healing of the reason, come healing of the heart. Let the heavens hear it, the penitential hymn. Come healing of the spirit, come healing of the limb.
Thank you, Jim. So let's just call each other to prayer on page 59. The Baruch Hu. And for this service, except for when we do the memorial prayers, we can stay seated. We are a minyan, though. We're 7 plus our 3 Torahs. So if anybody's worried that we're not a minyan here, we have 3 Torahs, and we have 7 gathered. The Holy 7, right here, and whoever's with us in the internet space out there, welcome. Know that we're holding the space for these prayers that connect, that bring the worlds a little closer together, the upper and the lower. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. And then we can skip all the way to the Shema on page 64. You want to sing us the Shema, Jimmy? Let's just sing our way into the oneness of the Shema, opening us up to hearing what we have to say to each other, what the universe is telling us, what we hear from our own hearts.
Shema Yisrael,
Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
And one more prayer. How about 68? Because this is a prayer of not being stuck. It's a prayer that says, wherever you are, you can be a little less stuck and move forward. Sometimes it takes some holy chutzpah to move through the next sea, to cross that next, into that next chapter, but that's what life is. It just keeps pulling us forward. You gonna sing it? Micha Mocha?
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך בדר בקודש, נורא תהילות הספר, שירה חדשה, שיבחו גאולים לשמך שפת הים, יחד, 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 יחד כולם, כולם, הודו והמליכו ויאמרו. אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד. ועד צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ופדי חינומך יהודה וישראל. גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל.
Before we offer the memorial prayers, it's kind of been our custom to talk a little bit about the people that we're bringing to the circle. And you can just either say their name or you can tell us a little bit about them if you like. tell us about Papa Dave? You know, it says in the Talmud that one of the most important things you can do is teach your children how to swim. And he did that. He did that. Well, but he was a swimmer and he taught everybody to swim. Mhm. Mhm. Oh, nice. Amen. We all did. Uh-huh. Oh, so sweet. Yeah. Sweet. Zichrono livracha. And you do. Oh my God. And you do. You do. Anybody else want to? Amen. Yeah. Thank you so much for bringing him here. Thank you. Gerald. Zichrono livracha. May his memory continue to be an inspiration and a blessing, helping us all feel more grateful. Thank you.
My parents, I'm in my year of mourning. So my parents, I think it's what's somewhat remarkable. Born 2 weeks apart. Actually, my dad was born on Yom Kippur, and this Yom Kippur would have been my birthday.
Wow.
And they passed away 6 days. Completely unexpected,
Yeah.
actually. That different medical
In this world, it
concerns.
was unexpected. In
Unexpected.
that world, it made perfect sense.
Unexpected that it was not, they
Yeah.
were both not passing 6 days. It's kind of really unexpected. But,
Yeah.
they were teachers their whole life. They were, started in, they were the connection. My grandparents were immigrants from like near Kiev and Belarus. And my father was a window washer. My other grandfather ran a small grocery store. They were teachers at City College of New York, where most young Jews in New York were at.
Mhm.
And they were teachers, and my dad became a superintendent of high schools and principal. They were connection from really had it's sad that they had a wonderful travel the world. So fortunately during COVID, we had to move them from New York to be near my sister or I, so in Florida, so they didn't really get a chance to say goodbye. It really had the remarkable things that they passed so quickly
Together.
together.
Kind of makes you believe they would be together. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
They,
I remember that came after
right.
ended up 6 weeks apart.
Right.
And so I really could feel it. And they died shy of their 72nd wedding anniversary. And, my mother had a similar MS, but so she had been aggressively physical, and was really in her for quite a few really tough for her because she used to be a swimmer and do all sorts of my dad was her, but he actually had rheumatic would so love for him to explain this all to me so that I
Yeah.
could better understand. It's going to, and his name is actually Louis Irwin. My dad's name was Irwin Pollock. I should have said my parents' name. And my mother was Marcel
Marcia.
Kaufman Pollock. And, and I also think grandparents, because that sense of remembrance. Oh, and all my grandmother's yard site was just recently. It's hard because, people had remarkable lives, like you're saying, your family. Yeah,
did.
they heard from Russia and Ukraine and sweatshops. Businesses.
Wow.
So,
Amazing. Wow. Wow. There's such a thread of connection here, too.
yes, I really
Beautiful. Thank you for that, and thank you for reminding us about your little grandson, too. God,
Yeah.
God takes, God gives.
yes.
Yeah. They're going to be wonderful parents, too, those two. Wonderful parents to this little boy. I know it. John, you got. Oh, oh no.
On the way,
There's a theme
over,
here.
I heard that the hearing aids you can now get over the counter. I was listening.
Yeah.
It was so interesting.
I've been hearing not to worry.
Good.
Said about reminded me. College password. I have some thoughts about it. Mother of my adopted school. But we're still we will
You know? Yeah.
everybody else in his cares. It's probably very but the thing is, got married. Died about left me. But not particularly.
Thank you, John. Thank you for that story. Each story has been so. Oh, thank you. We're sorry for your loss, really. Got a poem for us?
I think I wrote a piece about those who left no one to say. That is where I believe.
Thank you. Yeah. You know, there's certain people that kind of filled the space in this community in unique ways as well. You know, your parents did. They really were, as New York as they were, we claimed them. And, you know, of course, Papa Dave, and, you know, we've claimed a lot of people who've kind of shaped us in our 38 years here. And Renee was, of course, one, and as was Shirley Patisha. We also lost this year. As was Bear, who we lost this year. So many people we lost this year that were CRC, as is still with us, Nikki. Bringing Renee and her learning and her beautiful mind, and our trip to India, which was, she stayed longer in India to learn how to do some Indian cooking, which really she brought back to us. This crazy trip to India. Exquisite. Well, it was called Beautiful Foods.
Yeah.
The beautiful foods. Oh, so smart.
We won't be able to do that again.
Well, I did find out her secret to her salmon.
Are you going to share?
Mayonnaise. She put mayonnaise on the salmon.
That sounds awful.
I know, it sounds terrible, but that was her secret to the mayonnaise, to the salmon, that she was so moist, and it was so perfect every time.
I've heard that.
Mayonnaise.
My dad would do that. If he cooked that
Yeah.
mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise
It
was Renee's
It
secret,
was yummy.
and I only found out after she died. So here we go. All right, Jimmy. Give us a poem for those people who we're also bringing to this circle, all the
Yeah.
precious people upon whose shoulders we stand.
This is called Yizkor, all the time, every day. Memorial prayers for the dead who left no one to say prayers, or we didn't know who or when they passed. Tragedies known and unknown. We are in the condition of Yizkor all the time. Stop and pray that for a moment. Vulnerable and alone, unaccompanied, sent over by the incompetent and corrupt, pray that. What to do? Mourn first. make the prayers of Yizkor every day. Then get up, save the country. Amen.
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 I guess the other thing I wanted to mention before we say the prayers is so our daughter Adina has a book that's coming out this year. It's coming out on January 24th. It's called Your Hearts, Your Scars. And it's Bellevue Press, and you can pre-order it. You go to where? Yeah, but you could also go to Left Bank. You can go to the
She has a site.
she has a website. So if you go to Adina Talvi Goodman, there's a website that tells all about the book and how you can order it without going through Amazon.
Okay, yes, sorry.
But reason I wanted to mention it is the signature story that she won all the prizes for is about helping a man in a wheelchair
Right.
in U City on Delmar. Yeah, it's called I Must Have Been That Man. And I think you might really appreciate it. It's all about this man in a wheelchair that she helps on Delmar right after her heart transplant. And it's really about bodies of difference. You know, it's about living in a body of difference that, I mean, who knew? None of her friends knew that she was living in a body of difference all those years. She just lived her life, you know. Was who she was. So I think, I don't know, it's like there were so many threads of connection in these stories today. I just feel like it was kind of meant to be a holy thing. So the prayers,
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Dozen words for convergence
yeah,
that are better than convergence.
right.
That's what I
So,
experience every day. A dozen forms of
so Yizkor Elohim, Nishmat, all of our loved ones. May God remember the souls of all of those who have been mentioned. And Autumn, I don't know if anybody's put some names in the chat, if there is anybody in the chat. No? Okay, great. All of those we've mentioned, all of those we hold, all of those who are among the many souls. Those who have,
I didn't mention my folks' names, Martin and
oh,
Francis.
yes, Ilovicki, Martin and Francis. I see them smiling. When I think of them, I see they're smiling.
And their favorite pastime was bridge, actually.
Oh, well, you see, there we
David
go.
loved
Their,
it
their,
too.
their,
There we
claim,
go.
their claim to fame was
David
playing
played
bridge
with
with Chuck Schumer's parents.
Oh, wow.
They were
There
good
you go.
friends.
Love it, love it. There we go. Another thread. Convergence. They have gone now into eternity, and in their memory, we will continue to offer to make the world a better place, to go forward, to contribute to charity. In reward of this, may the souls of those we have named be bound in the bonds of eternal life, together with the souls of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, and all the righteous men and women that are in paradise. And let us say together, Amen. If you're able, we'll stand.
אלמלא רחמי, שוכן במרומי, שוכן במרומים, המצא בנך נכונה, תחת כנפי השכינה. עם קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מזהירי, את נשמתם כל היקרים, יקרות, שהלכים הלכות לעולמם בעל הרחמים. כי אסתירם בסתר כנפך לעולמי. צרור בצרור החיים את נשמתם, אדוני הוא נחלתם, וינוחו המשכבה, ולומר אמן. O God, full of compassion, you who dwell in the highest places, grant perfect rest to our dear ones who have gone to their world. Master of giving, bring them into your presence, protect them. God is like a river for them now. God is like a source that flows through them. May their souls always be bound up with the souls of the living. And may their rest be a rest of peace. Say.
Amen. Amen. So I had this thought that maybe if I could read some of Nikki's poems and remind her not to be afraid, we could help her let go. On Friday night, I just read part of this amazing poem she wrote about. It was called History. This is a prayer book that CRC Poets put together some years ago. And at the end of it, it says, I like to think my life is my own, but I know my sons and daughters, after I'm dead, will create me from their stories. Then I will be whomever they make and need me to be, not myself. And so I see children create their parents, not the other way around. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I just thought that was just so beautiful. And she also wrote this. So this, Nikki, I'm reading this because this is what you wrote for your father, who I know you adored. And maybe if I read this, the daughter's Kaddish that you wrote for him, maybe Nikki, you'll see that he's reaching out his hand to you now to join him. It's called a daughter's Kaddish, the prayer, Hebrew prayer for the dead. After the stroke, there were no lines in your face, memory erased by an accident in your brain. Your body slackened and diminished. You forgot language. I searched your face for my father, but he was gone. When I was 5, we walked on summer evenings. Cicadas sang to match our steps as we walked under pale sycamores. You took my hand when we crossed the street. You were as tall as a sycamore. I felt so small and safe. The chair in your hospital room seems so far from the bed. I help you walk the tiny steps, ease you down into a chair, push in the table, tuck a napkin under your chin, cut your fish, feed you Jell-O, and eat the apple from your tray myself. When I smell apples, I am 10 again. You sit in your old green chair, I sitting at your feet, watch you separate one long crimson peel so deftly with the tip of your paring knife, your best trick. It falls from the tip of your paring knife into my open hands. But now you touch your ruined hand with the living one. The good side of your face is puzzled. What, you say? It's the stroke, I answer. It's because of the stroke. Aha, you say. We have this conversation every day, but you never remember. You knew a million songs, mostly Gilbert and Sullivan. We sang till we were hoarse and giddy, riding the country roads on Sunday afternoons. When you sang Old Man River, it was like all the cats in the world purring. Glucose drips through plastic tubes as you lie in your metal bed. I hold your warm right hand. The left is attached to a needle. I wipe your face with a cool cloth. Do you dream, I ask? Yes, you smile. Do you dream of your mother? You smile again. Only a little part of you is in this room. The rest is swimming toward another shore. We used to race across the pool, cutting through the water with powerful strokes. I can see you always ahead of me, executing a perfect racing turn that I could never master. I could never catch up. But you would wait for me, pull me up out of the water. Even now, when I see a man with your shoulders, I fall in love. And you know, that was the 2001 High Holiday reading. And if you remember, 2001, 9/11,
Yeah.
High Holidays, a difficult time. And she read us this poem, and I remember how I felt when she read us this. It made death so personal. And it is. So thank you, Nikki. Hopefully you'll feel those big hands reaching out to you and drawing you to him now. So let's say the Kaddish together. You can find it in here on page maybe 96. For our parents and grandparents, for those who have come before, you know, those who gave us life, gave our lives meaning with their friendship and their gifts of life. There's just so much. Adina said, we live in the crawl space between grief and gratitude. Grief and gratitude. It's in one of the stories in this book that's coming out. I think about that. Trying to be as good a person as she was. It's not easy, but we do our best. So the Kaddish doesn't mention death, you know, it challenges us to rise above and be the best we could be in their memory. So let's say together. It kadav, it kadash, me rabba, bi'alma divrach, yurte, v'yamlich malchute, b'hayachon, u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayedecho be'Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kari ve'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam olmei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalei v'yitalal shmei t'kudasha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechmata, za'amiran be'alma ve'imru amen. Yehi shloma rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'rumav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. I'm going to sing a little bit at the end. Well, thanks for showing up today. And if you don't have one of these already, the best gift we can give to our loved ones, right, is to let them know what we want. Yes. It's an updated version. Yeah, this is a new one. We updated it a little bit. We put a little more information in it, and I don't know. Oh, good. Great. Well, you can give it to someone that hasn't done it yet, you know, because it really is helpful.
Last week, and they were being threatened if they gave anyone of Maya Angelou's book.
Can you believe it?
You know, crazy.
You know, Clayton High School has a band.
Does Clayton High School? This was out in Wentzville.
Well, Clayton High School has banned books on trans kids.
Really?
Clayton High School has banned books. How is that possible?
They're fearing of being jailed for a year.
Oh,
They gave out her autobiography because it has, like, she was raped at 8 or something like that. Yeah, crazy.
amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for showing up today, you guys. We couldn't have done